Joining me today in the BRTK studios at Bargain National Radio is another great talented person out there. His name is Tendekai Sadziwa, but you may know him as Dr Naz, and he has found us here at Bargain National Radio and is now in the studios in BRTK in Lefkoshire. First of all, Dr Naz, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Jan. It's an honor to be here. I've been anticipating sitting down with you and having a chat.
It's great to have you here. Been here before. I think you've met DJ Zell and Denise Phillips, our radio angel.
Exactly. I had a good time. I was here before. They showed me around. This is a great place with great people.
And you're a great person as well.
Thank you.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I'm a Zimbabwean by birth. Yeah.
And you are studying here at Cyprus International University.
Yeah. I'm studying at Cyprus International University. I did my undergrad, which was electrical and electronic engineering, but then I decided to do another one so that I just add on to the pool of knowledge I have. So currently I'm working on business studies. Again,
undergraduate?
Yes.
So you're doing your second degree now?
I fell in love with business along the way, and I was like, you know what, I need to have a grasp of business so that I know what I'm doing in the business world.
Yeah. Fantastic. So from electrical engineer to businessman now.
Exactly.
But here you are today. We're going to be talking about music. Now, we just heard before this interview a track called Incision by yourself. And at the end of the show, at the end of the interview, we've got Shooting Star coming up. But we'll talk about that a bit later on. And we'll talk about your musical influences. But first of all, how did you get involved with music?
Okay, I think I have a rich music background. I used to be, I know in our country we have what we call traditional dance back in primary school. So I was involved. I used to love music. I used to love dancing to music. I used to love singing music. So I went from traditional dance, choir, and then eventually I discovered that, you know, I actually had a gift, and I started composing it around the age of 14. I started composing my own songs.
Fantastic.
And we had a group, and we started singing. And from there, that's when I actually started my creative journey.
So back in Zimbabwe, when you were a young man, after singing in choirs and everything, you decided to write your own music.
Yeah.
How can you describe your influence? I mean, I know that you sent me a bio here. Listeners will be treated to exquisite production, meticulously crafted earworm hooks, and powerful verses laced with the truth of the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. So I'm assuming that you were in a gospel choir when you were younger.
Of course, I was.
And now, so does that influence continue in your music today?
Of course it does, because my music is more of me expressing myself and my life and the experiences that I have in my life. So inadvertently, I have to include everything about me, and part of that is that the major part of it is that I'm a Christian, and so whenever I explain anything, any subject, I do it with the perspective of a Christian. So yeah, it has a major influence on what I sing.
Very interesting. So here you are in Northern Cyprus. It's amazing to me that so many of the students who come over from Nigeria, from Zimbabwe, from other parts of Africa, from around the world even, are very talented. You are either musicians, you have a musical background, or you could be artists, photographers, writers, fashion. I've met so many different students. When you left Zimbabwe and came to Cyprus, are you inspired to be creative here?
Well, yeah. You know, when I left Zimbabwe, of course, I already was an artist. But then, North Cyprus is a peaceful country, stress-free. If you really play your cards right, you enjoy it here. And so when I came to North Cyprus, you know, I had time to think, and I had time to really explore options. You know, there's no pressure here, and life is a bit simple. So it's actually conducive for, you know, creatives. If you're creative, if you're focused, you can really focus on your talent and you can grow. And I always say to my peeps, I always hear people say, Cyprus this, Cyprus that. But I tell them, Cyprus is a gateway to the world. It's in the center of the world.
Yeah.
You can touch the whole world from Cyprus. And I believe I'm one of those people that are going to touch the whole world from Cyprus.
I hope you do touch the whole world from Cyprus. And it says here that in 2017, Dr Naz set to work on his debut album, All Your Life. Now, that is actually 6 years ago when we now look at 2023. So you began your album called All Your Life.
Yeah.
So how was that received?
It was actually, really, received quite okay because we did have a launch party here in Cyprus, and people did turn out, and it was classy, to say the least. It was amazing. It was the first of its kind, from what I heard. And we managed to pull in the numbers, and people were really optimistic about the future at that time, and are still optimistic about the future. Yeah.
Touching lives is of the utmost importance, you say, to the prolific artist. You are a prolific artist, and his art is anything but predictable or stale. His particular sonic territory eschews conventional tropes in favour of innovative, envelope-pushing production punctuated by melodic flows, mellifluous harmonies. Songs such as Rise and Truth showcase his technical rapping ability, while the more melodic songs such as Only One and Only Him reveal his artistic range beyond the boundaries of hip-hop. So you give us a clue there that although your writing is influenced by your background in gospel music and religion, you are actually also a hip-hop singer.
Of course.
Do you add Afro beats to that as well? Because Afrobeat is very popular, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm a very versatile artist. I try to explore. I'm a very experimental someone. I try to explore every avenue of music. Sometimes I even get into jazz. I mix some jazz, fuse some jazz in my hip hop. Sometimes I mix, different types of music, and I try to always come up with something unique, something different, something of course delectable to the ears of my audience. Yeah.
Very original, very prolific artist. Like you say, you've got lots going on and you are working very hard still. And it's great to have you here in the studios of Back National Radio. Thank you for coming in today. I have to point out to everyone that the day that we were recording this interview was Monday, the 16th of January, when there was rain everywhere. So you got here eventually, rain around the whole island. But thank you very much for coming to Back National Radio again.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
You've got a label. Crib 9 Records.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, so I was like, I was sitting down and I was like, I've started my creative journey, but they say if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast, go alone. So I want to go far. I want to touch the world. So if I believe in touching lives, touching people around the world positively, I can imagine how many more people I can touch if I have a group of people around me doing and moving with the same vision. So I decided to start this record label with the aim to inspire other young artists and creatives out there, to allow them to start their creative journey, to direct them in a path that they can positively impact lives around the world, and to nurture them and give them the opportunity. Cyprus is a great place, as I said, but we want to improve the opportunities for creatives to be heard, to be seen. So that's what we are about. And also there is an upcoming program that we're working on. It's called Colors Cyprus. So it's a show where we're going to be inviting people from all over, Turkish people, people from any country of the world who are in Cyprus, to come and showcase their talent there. And I'm sure you will hear about it, and I'm sure probably we'll be back here talking about it. So its aim is to expose talent. So we're just going to be videographing these guys performing live, performing their music. We will help them with the production and everything, and then we'll also help them with the visual content, and then we'll push it out there, we'll promote it, and we want to just put Cyprus on the map. I believe it's possible, I believe it can be done, and I believe we are the people to do it.
Incredible. What determination there from you, Dr. Naz. Do you have your own recording studio, or do you have somebody working with you to record your music, the music that you write in your mind, your rapping, your Afro beats? How does it all come together? Where do you actually produce all this music?
So I have a home studio, but I managed to, as I said, I convince a few of my friends, associates, and we started this label, and all of them. They have some of them have home studios, some of them are doing videography, some of them are doing different things in terms of media. So we came together and we're working together. So when I'm producing a music video, I have a friend who's a producer, I have a friend who's a sound engineer, I have a friend who's a videographer, and we're working together to make sure we put that stuff out. So it's working out. Hopefully soon it will be a company registered in Cyprus, working well and doing bigger things. That's my hope.
Excellent. Great news from you once again. Let's go back now to the music. Before the interview, we heard Incision. Tell me a bit about Incision. What's the song about?
So Incision is quite. It was a freestyle actually, and it was a song that was coming from deep in. I was just like, let me express myself, and I talk of what I do. I talk of who I am, and I talk of some of the elements and things that drive me and that inspire me and that push me to work as hard as I'm working. And one of them, of course, is my family, my little sister. I have a little sister back home, and she looks up to me, and I believe, I want to set a good example for her. And I also have a little brother too. So I talk about those things, those elements, and I also talk about my life, who I am, what I do, why I do what I do. And
so it's quite a personal.
Yeah, it's a personal, very personal track.
Very personal to you.
Yeah.
Your feelings,
and
your relationships.
from the name Incision. Incision is actually a process where a doctor opens up someone.
You make a cut.
Exactly. So I was saying, I'm cutting deep. I'm cutting deep into myself.
Wow, fantastic!
Yeah.
What a great song you gave us there. And then in a few minutes' time, when we end this interview, we'll be playing Shooting Star. Tell us about Shooting Star.
All right. So my journey has faced a lot of troubles, a lot of tribulations. I would say one of the problems, the major problems, was people coming against me and saying, "You can't do it. Why are you doing it?" And these people, most of them were actually close people, family, friends, that were, instilling disbelief. And I understand it's not because they are bad people or evil people, but it's because they are projecting their fears onto me. You understand? So they are afraid I'll fail. They are afraid I won't make it. And it's out of concern that they say some of the things that they say. But then I got, at one point in time, I got almost frustrated. But then I was like, every time I get any extreme emotion, I put it in writing and I make a song. And I was like, you know what? I can inspire someone who's going through the same. Someone who is facing a lot of opposition from a lot of things when they are trying to walk this journey. So I wrote Shooting Star, which talks about, if I get this opportunity to do what I want and what I feel I want to do, I'll be a star. Just watch me. That's what it's about.
Great explanation there of a song that we're going to be listening to in a few minutes' time. What is happening in the future? I mean, you've studied electrical engineering. You're now studying business. When will you finish the business degree?
I think in 2 years' time.
In 2 years' time. So you're still here for at least another 2 years.
Yeah, I'm still here.
And then what happens? I mean, you've got such a different background, but then you are interested in music. Is music your future, do you think? Or is it something that's going to be just something extra to what you want to really do? What do you want to do in the future?
I believe music will always be part of me. Music is deeper than anything in my life. I think music will always be part of me. As long as I'm breathing and kicking, I'll always be singing. But then I'm predominantly a businessman. I want to dominate the world through a lot of entrepreneurship ventures. So I want to have this degree. Engineering was kind of something that came from the influence from back home. In my country, if you're not an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, you haven't made it. You haven't made it. So now I want to have business so that I can be able to run my own, my own enterprises. If I were to start a business venture, I can be able to maneuver the business world. So obviously, I'm going to go into the world as an entrepreneur. I'm planning on starting a few ventures, technology in different aspects.
I mean, maybe you could be the CEO of your label, Crib 9 Records, as a businessman as well as an artist.
Yeah, true. But I believe I can leave that task to, I'll raise people to do that. I think I'll look for people to do that because I'm one person who's creative. So I constantly want to be looking for new ideas, new ventures. I'm an adventurer. I'm going to be like, today I'm setting up Crib 9. When it's going, I'm looking for another thing. I really want to impact this world positively. So I'll do it at whatever means I can.
You got in contact with me back in October, but it took me this time to invite you here. Although, actually, I was reminded about your message to me back in October because it was your birthday recently.
Yeah.
So happy birthday once again.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I hope that 2023 brings you all that you want.
Thank you.
What do we have coming up? I know that you performed. I know that there are many organisations or many events here around the island where you've been able to share your music with the public. But have you got anything lined up aside from that big event event that you're going to be inviting everyone to. I mean, are you going to be performing anywhere? Do you have any concerts lined up?
So this year not yet, because the year is just starting. But we are planning our own events, and I hope people would turn out. I want to emphasize that we're going to be, besides me, it's not all about me. I'm going to be trying to push others to also walk in the same path I'm walking. So we're planning a concert that will invite everyone around Cyprus and see how it goes. We'll start from there.
Listen to us to find out more. When we get more information, you can share it with us. Yeah, we'll share it with our listeners.
Obviously.
You've been in the music, or you released your first album 2018. Back in 2017, you started work on your debut album. And do you have more music? Do you have another album coming out?
Yes. I actually have a lot lined up. I have an EP, and I also have an album coming. But what I want to talk about is the EP. I decided all this while I was singing in English, and I was kind of using genres from other cultures. Like, for example, Afrobeats is from Nigeria. I was using hip-hop is from America. And I had never really digged into our own music, like from where I come from, my country. So I decided to go in, study a few things about our music, and I decided, as I told you, I fuse different genres. So I decided to work with this producer, talented producer, GTG, handsome. Shout out to him. And we are working on a sound called Neon Zio. So I'm having a mixtape that's coming up, and it has these sounds which are incorporating our traditional Zimbabwean sound into genres like hip hop, genres like jazz. We're mixing everything and bringing out a very unique sound that I think people would love, the world would love.
Sounds really interesting. Hopefully you'll share that with us as well. I'd love to hear more about what your original roots, Zimbabwean music, sounds like, and bringing it into a modern, contemporary setting.
Exactly.
As you said, with Afrobeats maybe, or with hip-hop,
exactly.
R&B. Sounds really, really good. And I look forward to hearing more from you. How can people listen to your music now? Apart from sharing it on our radio station, are you on all the streaming platforms? Are you available there?
I'm available on all streaming platforms. Dr Naz Official. If you look for Dr Naz Official on YouTube, Spotify, any streaming platform, or just go on Google and say Dr Naz Music.
Dr Naz Music
on Google,
and we get you
exactly.
Well, thank you very much. We've spoken about the song coming up. It's Shooting Star by Dr Naz, otherwise known by his real name as Tendekai Sadziwa, and it's an honor to have you here.
It's an honor to be here.
Keep in touch. Let us know what's going on with the events, and I hope that your music reaches more and more people over the next few months and years. Thanks a lot. Good luck with the future.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. An amazing interview too. All the best to you too.
Thank you very much. And here is the man himself with Shooting Star, and I believe Dr Naz really is a shooting star here in Northern Cyprus.